Yes. Finish with questions. Does anyone have any questions?
I'd be interested to hear what you think of the difference between the way in which poets react to the outside world, the way in which architects do, because in a way you can be
because as an architect I'm a figure who operates with what I would call resistance. In other words, I go out into the world and I encounter things which are not myself, whether they're regulations or clients, sites, or whatever it is.
Nice. How do I look? Like a complete idiot. Yeah, but quite visible, I'd say. Thanks, Mum.
Or I remember it being difficult, because in a sense, when you can make anything, what would you make? And the idea of sitting down in a room and writing out of the innocence of my own mind is something that gives me a kind of vertigo.
Been looking at a TV now. Been looking at a computer screen for too long today, and my entire vision is just like there being fire and stars. And if he is going to Tesco's, why is he ignoring the fires?
There's one of the things which is it's hard to draw a one-on-one comparison between them at a disciplinary level, but you can, I think, at very specific points. And for instance, the idea of what it means, very basically, to be inside a structure, to feel the protection in architecture from the weather or the outside world. And there is something which...
It's all part of the process.
Yeah. Hey. Say hi.
Hello. This is the right way up, I hope.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Hey, say hello. No, that.
I see camouflage, or beard, or hurricane, or motorbike. I see fan, or tractor. I see eyeglasses, or lobster. I see blueberry, or the Great Wall of China. I see oh, I know, it's broccoli.
No, I know it's broccoli.
You got dolphin.
I have no clue what you're drawing.
It's looking great. I love these black lines.
Like the propage.
Propage.
Yes. Oh no.
Which means? Oh, yeah.
What is this way? Actually speaking, with this sequence in mind. But I realised, finding myself in situations like this, that there was a great deal of falsity in that. So I'm just going to read them alongside the note that accompanies each poem, because the notes work as a sort of parallel text to the poems. So these poems are really more poems about interiors than exteriors, but hopefully they come together to form a sort of cohesive structure, an edifice of poems.
One of the kind of spatial experiences of being here is the feeling of coming. Normally I'm used to coming after poets, and I have a sense of where I stand in relation to the evening. And following an architect, there's this kind of disorientation that I'm not exactly sure what my position is.
Oh yeah. It's Boxing Day. It's about 1 AM. 3 days ago I went to the pub with some friends. And it was nice. We chatted, it was good to catch up. People look well. And we saw some guys there from our old school, two of whom I hadn't seen since leaving school, and they're not my favourite people in the world, but just looking at them and looking at how they changed and how, but they were also still the same, and they looked old, was sort of disarming in a way. Didn't really know what to make of it, and I just sort of looked at them. And I slept at Alex's house, cheers Alex, and slept terribly, and was sort of half drunk, half hungover when I was waking up in the night, and that felt like some sort of purification process, because I came back down on the train. I started a book on the way on the train and on the way back. And the problem is that I've for a while now I've been thinking like it's not worth reading something, especially something long, if it's not gonna like challenge me or like push me or like, you know, be some weird poetry / essay form, which is really unhealthy and bad, because what that really is me saying I can't do anything unless it's work. You know, I can't spend this time on something that just isn't work. And yeah, more and more recently, and like over the past 5 or so years, I've felt like the internet has got smaller. Like it's become much less a place to go and explore, and much more a place that is... Alright, there's 3 levels of things, okay? The first level is like messages, your friends saying, what do you want to eat for dinner, or have you bought the milk, or whatever. The second level thing is when you go to the social media or the news or whatever that you usually check. Maybe you use up like the stuff that you haven't seen since you last saw it. The third tier is like, that's exploring, that's like going out and maybe reading an article that someone suggested, but it's going off the beaten path. Do you know what I mean? It's like, and it's in that third tier that often the actual joy of the internet comes out of, like exploring and seeing something new and seeing something different. But I feel like that third tier is just so much harder to get to, and sort of because of the nature of the other 2 tiers, which are like fast, but I think it's just those tiers that are fast. And I think the whole other tier is like slower, like, and so it feels like starting reading an article and like looking at how much text there is below, and you're like, oh God, do I really want to read this? And 99 times out of 100, if you do read it, you get to the end, you're like, fuck, I'm glad I read that. It's the mindset, isn't it? It's the mindset. So, but also, books are great. You just get to tier 3 straight away. None of the garbage, none of the mental distress, none of the like social anxiety, none of that. It's just. How am I doing? I hope we get to see it cook.
Mug's seen better days though.
Yeah.
Was that before it broke?
No, it still had like this much of its...
Oh yeah, look.
You can see, yeah. This is so Inception.
This is the passage of time. Looking that Kieran's very conscious with his video making that he avoids all possible continuity errors. Hence the
acceptance. So for you, I think to say that poetry has got a kind of a virtue that would allow it to ameliorate its sort of sullied sister architecture is probably the wrong way to think about it, but rather to think about the way in which you can virtuously engage with issues of public meaning, whether through language or through built form.
I sort of think the opposite, that poetry has no responsibility to the public realm necessarily.
I would suppose that I feel a bit of resistance to the idea of poetry being utilitarian in any form, because I always think utilitarianism can get in the wrong hands and be used quite badly, you know, sort of...
Part of
Yeah, I
what
don't
we
know.
suffer as poets is that we make no money.
Yeah.
And it's part of, I mean, there was something at the Poetry Parnassus Cultural Olympiad where one of the things they were saying is it's the freedom is that there is no financial transaction at any level.
No.
But isn't poetry a form of witness?
Yes.
Perhaps.
And is witness not a public act?
But I suppose you have